So if you find yourself struggling with your bench press, sit down, grab a notebook, and welcome to class. We're figuring out your bench press setup. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be going over 3 main points that most people miss when they're setting up for their bench press. And those 3 things are going to be foot pressure, neck pressure, and stacking the elbows underneath the wrist. So without further ado, let's get into it, guys. Okay, so one of the most common mistakes a lot of people have with their bench press, specifically with their leg drive, is they think that pushing the floor means pushing the hips into the air. That couldn't be more wrong. What you're trying to do is you're trying to push the floor away from you that way. And whether you have your feet further back or right under your knee or in front of you, the concept's still the same. You want to be able to push through the front of your foot as much as you can and not your heel. If you push through the heel, what ends up happening is eventually you will slip from your foot and losing that foot pressure and most likely the lift. So a good way to approach your leg drive when you're setting yourself up is pretending you're trying to dig your big toe into the floor and using that pressure to push into the floor as hard as you can. Then from there, pushing into your traps and neck to be able to puff your chest up. Holding that position the entire time as you're bench pressing will give you a lot more power. You cannot let it go as the bar's coming down onto your chest, as that's going to cause you to lose all of your leg drive and lose all of that power that you could have as you press. And another common mistake a lot of people have when it comes to the bench press is not keeping the neck flat and pushing into their neck pressure. To create that, a good cue that my coach and I will use is to create a double chin and flatten the neck as much as they can, so that way the base of your skull down to the bottom of your traps are going to be a flat surface that you're pushing up against. Now, everyone's technique is going to be a little bit different. If you're someone that likes to lift their head when they're bench pressing, that may cause your arch to collapse a little bit, but if you're able to maintain your leg drive, you're still going to get a very nice pop off of the chest. But make sure you're still playing with the idea of being able to flatten the neck as much as you can. All right, and the last mistake I see a lot of powerlifters make with their bench technique is trying to overly tuck the elbows or overly flare the elbows outwards. Remember, the point of bench press is to be able to keep the elbows stacked under the wrist. If we over tuck, the elbows are going to be now in front of the wrist, and it's going to cause a lot more external rotation within the shoulder, which can impede on the shoulder health over time. So make sure you are opening up your shoulder as much as you can. Take care of that rotator cuff, especially as you're warming up. We also don't want to overly flare the elbows outwards, because at that point we're going into more internal rotation. Same concept, you are going to be impeding on the shoulder. So when you're thinking about setting up your bench press, you are trying to get some external rotation from the shoulder, but only to the point where now the elbow is underneath the wrist. So when you are coming down, you're nice and stacked to where the elbows are directly under the wrist, and you're able to keep that stacking as you are pressing as well. So a really good way to figure out where that's going to be is as you are sliding up into the bench press, you are trying to kind of turn the elbow a little bit outward as you slide into position, making sure that the elbow stops right when it's underneath the wrist, so that from there, once you grab and you unrack, you're going to be maintaining that position the entire time. So think about when you're coming down for your bench press, you're almost trying to let the elbows bend naturally at that point, because the bar is already lined up with the middle of your elbow. So if you put all of that together, then your bench should be a lot more concise. Remember, the point of bench press within powerlifting specifically is to move the most amount of weight that we can. Everyone's leverage is different, so someone's arch might look higher than someone else's just because of their T-spine mobility. Number 2, someone's arm length will also impact that as well. If someone has shorter arms and a very mobile T-spine, then their arch and range of motion is going to be a lot less. But even if you don't have those perfect leverages for a bench press, at the very least, if your technique matches what we went over in this video, I promise you will have a lot better of a time getting stronger on your bench press. So with that being said, guys, as always, hit those PRs, and I'll see you on the platform. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Love you guys.